to Monday, Mobility Monday. I am so excited that all of you are here and watching this and just open to what we have to offer for you today, what I have to offer for you today. So we mentioned that I will be going through a mobility sequence here. If some of you might be wondering what is mobility, and it is sort of this combination of like stretching and strengthening, but we're really getting into the joint systems of our body as well as the muscular systems. So yes, we're going to be using muscles. Yes, you're going to feel maybe some stretching type sensations. But the goal about mobility is to really open up our range of motion, elongate through the muscles, and it's really going to provide a lot more joint stability, strength, and nourishment to the actual joints of our body, which often when we're, say, weight training, we're really focused on the musculature, right? Specific muscles. If you're doing a bicep curl, you're focusing on building that bicep. So here we're focusing on building the strength of a plethora of muscles and just adding to that range of motion. What is range of motion? Range of motion is range that is available within your own body when we're talking about mobility here. So throughout this sequence, I want you to really be able to try and dive in. Yes, you're going to watch what my body is doing so that you have an idea, but just because what my body looks a certain way while I'm doing something, that does not mean that your body is going to look the same while doing that shape or doing that movement. And that's perfect. That means you're doing it right. If it looks a little bit different, but yet you're feeling challenged and really just moving your body into what we would term more end range or maximum range of motion. And so with that end or maximum range of motion, you want to feel within your own body that you're staying in a pain-free zone. If you are getting excruciating pain, if you're having sharp, stabbing, shooting pain, we want to avoid that. That means that you've expressed something to your body that it's just not quite ready for. And so just notice that, take it down a little bit. Mobility should feel good in your body. It is a challenging practice, but also a nourishing and gentle practice. So you might feel a little bit sore in a few spots, maybe around the hips or the shoulders tomorrow or later in the day after you've done this. Again, that is totally normal. Take notice of it. It does not necessarily mean anything good or bad. I don't like to use a lot of that good or bad terminology when we're talking about our body. Your body just is. It is a being, and that is why I don't like to refer to it as one or the other. We are a spectrum of everything, and so just really keep that in mind. Be gentle and open to yourself, and just know that your shape might not look like my shape. Your available range of motion might not look like my available range of motion. And that's okay. The outcome is for you to feel good here, for you to feel empowered in your body, and for you to start moving and growing and expanding on what is already available and what is already strong in your body. So this little sequence will be approachable, I hope, for everyone, no matter what sort of level you're at. We're not going to go into like a big cardio thing or anything like that. We're really just going to work on the major joints of the body, just get everything kind of warmed up. This is going to be a really nice sequence that you can come back to time and time again. I love doing these movements on a morning that I have woken up and I'm feeling a little bit stiff or stuck or sticky somewhere. Maybe I'm having some tension through my shoulder, and this just really helps loosen things up for me and allows me to go through my day without feeling like I'm just sort of a piece of concrete because really we are fluid moving beings and we need to be able to tap in and nourish that. So if you do have any further questions, please shoot me a message or drop them below. Shoot me an email, whatever feels most appropriate for you. And I think that's about it. As I said once more, stay within your personal pain-free range of motion, please, please, please. And really just, if something feels a little unapproachable to your body, just take it down. Everything here should be fairly approachable, and especially if you are tuning in, taking that time to make sure that you are staying in what feels good for your body, what feels approachable, what feels manageable. So yeah, let's get moving. I am just sitting here on a little block. A block will not be necessary for today's practice and movement. If you have one, great. If you want to grab a book or a pillow, please do so. And yeah, let's just take a couple moments to kind of get settled, centered in our body. I'm on a yoga mat here. You don't have to be on one, but I do advise maybe laying, if you're on hardwood, lay out a mat or lay out a towel or something that could be comfortable for your knees. Excuse me. Or I often just do my mobility on the carpet. So if you have a carpet space or a cozy rug or something like that that feels good for you, then yeah, get yourself into that space and into a relatively comfortable seated position for a few moments. I just want to get you into your body a little bit. So we're just going to take a few breaths before we get into any movement here. So again, comfortable seat. You don't have to be sort of legs in front of or crossed like mine are. You can have your legs long. You can even lie down if that feels good. Just get yourself into a position that feels like you can start to tune into your body. You can start to feel your breath going in to your lungs, expanding your rib cage, and then releasing. Don't force the breath right now. Just notice the pattern that's happening naturally for you in this moment. And let's take a few moments to just kind of let that settle. See if whatever's going on from the day can wash a little bit away. And you can really just start to tune into this moment here, presently in your body. Allowing the chest to rise and fall. Maybe feeling the shoulders melt a little bit away from the ears, or the shoulder blades nestle further into the ground if you're laying down. Just allow the breath to flow into your body naturally with ease. You can close your eyes or leave them open, whatever feels good. Just taking a moment to sort of center yourself and bring yourself in. You can take notice if there are any kind of niggly spots, any places of tension or where it's maybe not as easeful to sort of relax in whatever position you've ended up in. And just notice that. Doesn't mean anything necessarily. Just allow your body to be present. Take one nice full breath here for yourself. And then on that exhale, flutter your eyes open if they were closed. And then if you were laying down, getting comfortable, just come up to a more seated position. We're going to start with the neck and bringing in what's called neck cars, and it's basically just taking your neck through its full available range of motion. So to start, let's bring the chin towards the chest, drop the chin towards the right shoulder, and then move it up and away towards the ceiling. We're getting into extension here, so the head is tipping as far back behind you as possible. As you roll the left ear to the left shoulder, the chin to the left shoulder, and then bring the chin all the way down and across, and do 2 more nice big circles. Maybe take notice if your shoulder blades are creeping up towards the neck as you go through this. And just go nice and slow. We've got 1 more rotation in this direction. Go at a pace that feels good. Bring that chin to the left shoulder and then all the way through the center. And we're going to go the opposite direction. So chin to the chest and then chin towards the shoulder, up towards the ceiling. So the head's in extension, dropping back and behind you, and then coming all the way over to the right shoulder, chin to the right shoulder, and then all the way through the middle. 2 more in that same direction to the left, opening up through the back of the head, and then coming all the way forward into flexion. 1 more time here. Noticing if there's any areas that feel a little bit tight or tense, and if you're getting any pain, just decrease your range of motion here. Bring the head to now sit tall, and we're gonna move into the shoulder joints here. So here you can stay in your seated position, arms out in front of you, and make sure that the elbows are sort of as straight as possible. They don't have to be totally locked, but try and keep them nice and straight as we go through here. Arms right out in front of you, sort of chest height, if that's available to you. If not, you can drop the arms and just try to make the movement with the shoulder blades. So arms out if possible, if not, no big deal. What we're gonna do is reach those arms forward, and when that happens, we should feel the shoulder blades spreading apart. The shoulders are gonna come up towards the ears, then we're gonna squeeze them back and then guide them down the spine and then loop them forward. So we're making sort of circles. I like to think of like a little train engine wheels here. And so we're just doing nice circles coming forward, up towards the ears, squeezing at the back and holding that squeeze as we come and lower, and then moving forward. I'm doing this a few more times here, trying once more to keep those arms nice and straight out in front of you. We're allowing the shoulder blades to move over the rib cage. So my rib cage is staying nice and sort of stacked and firm here. Now drop that, and then we're going to do the opposite direction. So arms out in front of you once more, and then we're going to come squeeze those shoulder blades behind you as if you could suck your shoulders into their sockets. Feel that squeeze. Pull the shoulder blades as if you're going to push them into your back pockets, and then bring them forward and up and behind you, forward and up and behind. Amazing. And then once more, squeeze those shoulder blades together, bring them up towards the ears, and then push them forward and through. So squeeze, bring them up, pull them forward, and then down and together. Up, forward, down and together. Up, squeezing together, forward and down. Squeeze, bring it up, go forward and down. Okay. Drop the arms. That one is often challenging, so if you are having trouble kind of creating movement through there, perfectly normal. We're gonna get into the arms here. You can stay in sort of a kneeling position, or you can come all the way to standing if that feels good for you. Standing might be a little bit easier. I'm gonna stay kneeling for camera depth here. We're gonna start with the arms by our sides, and I want you to turn your palms as forward as possible. So your palms are going to come forward, and then your pinkies might even start to sort of round towards the front of the room. Cross, bring them forward and across your body. Bring them up in as big of range of motion as available to you. We're coming all the way into extension, flexion here through the arms, and then start to break them away as we need to, nice and slow. And then we're gonna flip the palms when you can't turn them any further. So my thumbs are coming down and almost up towards the ceiling as the arms go behind me, and then come to my sides. Now push the thumbs out behind you, almost like a giant sort of butterfly style stroke here. Flip the palms when it feels too uncomfortable, and then come all the way forward and all the way down. Nice big arm circles like this. This is kind of our arm cars version, and what we're doing here is just opening up through the actual shoulder, the actual glenohumeral joint. So we're moving the humerus, that large upper arm bone, in the socket where it connects to the body. So again, at the bottom here, pinkies and palms are forward. We're coming across the body, trying to keep the ribs and hips nice and stacked. Try to keep the chin from jutting out, sort of see if you can keep it connected to your core here, bringing the arms all the way up. Just as much range of motion is available to you. So if that means that your arms do not come all the way up, that is perfect. Just work within whatever feels good and available for your range. Let's do one nice big one here, coming all the way up and then moving all the way around. Good. And then coming back, flip the palms all the way through to the front. Amazing. Here, we will come into a standing position, and if you're not already there, I'll ask you to tuck the chin towards the chest. We're just gonna curl forward and then curl back up, working through the spine a little bit here. So just rounding, give a nice little bend to the knees, come down to the ground or as far as feels good for you, and then slowly stack the vertebrae one at a time, and then moving the chin up. So chin to chest, curling, 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 coming all the way down, letting the arms just flop, and then stacking the vertebrae as we come all the way up. One more time here, tuck the chin, coming all the way down, curling through the body. Amazing. And then coming all the way back up. Perfect. We're gonna go into sort of a kneeling all fours position here. So if you need to get something underneath your knees, please do so. If you need to take a break off your wrists at any time, please do so. If doing full wrist extension is a little bit uncomfortable for you, you can go onto fists, or even just roll up a towel or fold a pillow in half or something like that, and just put it underneath your hands, so there's not quite as much extension required there. But meet me in a all fours position here, and we're just gonna do a little bit of work to kind of mobilize through the spine. So we'll start, some people might know this is more of a cat and cow. We're gonna do it a little bit more segmentally and intentional here though. So push your hands into the mat so you kind of get this push away through the shoulder blades, and then start to pull the tailbone up towards the ceiling, which is gonna drop the belly, open the ribs, open the chest, and then look forward and open up through the throat and the chin. Then we're gonna tuck the tailbone underneath you and then allow that roll to follow us through and forward, pushing even more into the hands, kind of coming into what we might call that cat position. And then untuck the tailbone at the back, send those sit bones up towards the ceiling, let the belly drop, let the ribs expand, let the collarbones open, and then the chin comes up and through. Tuck the tailbone, roll through the spine, arching, carving, curling through that upper back, and then tucking the chin. And then untuck the booty, send those sits bones up towards the ceiling. We'll allow the belly to drop, the ribs to open, the collarbones to stretch, the throat to move, and the chin to come up. Tuck that tail underneath you, and then come all the way through, curling, 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 pushing. One more time to untuck here. Untuck fully. Allow the belly to drop. Open up through the chest and collarbones all the way into the throat and chin. And then tuck once more underneath all the way. Curling, curling, curling. More cat position here. And then come into a more neutral spine. So just a space that feels comfortable for you. I don't want the belly to be dropped here, and I don't want it to be kind of curved. So we just want to find a space in between that feels good. You might even put your hands on your ribs and just feel that they're sort of flat through here, and that there's maybe some minor connection or stacking from the hips to the rib cage here. While you're here in this all fours position, I just want you to swing your hips side to side. So we're just moving side to side like this, right to left. So I'll give you kind of a, excuse my butt, back view. So I've got my knees sort of hip width, and then I'm just sort of rocking, trying to feel a little bit of the motion through my hips while keeping that rib cage just a little bit more stagnant, a little bit more intentional. I'm trying to have the motion come from the hips here. Do one more each side. Amazing. And then we're gonna send the right foot out towards the right. And that foot is gonna stay nice and flat against the floor here. So that might look a little bit better from this view here. Perfect. And then once you're here, I just want you to bring your shoulders over top of your wrists, and then bring the bum towards the heel. It might not be able to go all the way down, and that's okay. We're just getting a little bit of gentle movement through the hip and through the adductors, the inner thigh here. So we're just rocking back and forth, nice and gentle, keeping that foot on the right, connected with the floor, moving slow at your own pace, bringing a little bit of intention to the rib cage. Let's do 2 more rocks here. Good. Last one, back and forward. Keep that right leg out to the side, and then I want you to do that same movement we did before, where we're just trying to sort of move the hips out to the side and back. So I'll give you again, pardon the booty view here, but we're just trying to move those hips to the side as possible while keeping connection with the rib cage, staying nice and sort of stacked, and then the hips are just trying to accommodate that movement. Amazing. Do 1 more each side. Good. And then last in this position here, with that right leg out, I'm going to get you to bring your toes towards the ceiling and then push them back into the ground. So we're going up, we're finding rotation through this hip joint. So the movement is actually coming from my upper thigh, and that's what's allowing the foot to move. So your knee should also be heading up towards the ceiling. The thigh should be heading up towards the ceiling, and then it's kind of pushing towards the floor. So we're just rotating that hip joint in the socket, finding that movement and space there. Good. Do 2 more. Awesome. Fantastic. Tuck that leg back in, and we'll do the same for the other side. So the left leg is gonna go out to the side, and then we're gonna start with just those rocks back and forth. So you're bringing the hip down towards the foot that's on the ground, and then coming forward so the shoulders are just coming over the wrists. Back and down, getting a nice stretch through the inner thigh here. And just staying, again, as always, within the range that feels appropriate for you, that feels attainable, and that you can be manageable with. Let's go for 3 and 2, and last one here. Fantastic. Try to do those side to sides like we did on that right. So again, I'll give you a little booty view so you can see here that my hips are really trying to move side to side. You might not have very much movement in this position here, and that's perfectly okay. Just work with what's available. Try to find some intention. Good. 2 more. Amazing. And then last one in this position, we're going to go in to those rotations. So here we're sending the left knee, toes, thigh up towards the ceiling, rotating, and then pushing back. And while we're here, we want to make sure that the hips are staying nice and stacked. So you can always, if you have the balance and strength, you can bring one hand to your hip and just see that that's maintaining. If you're finding that you're doing this with your body, then that's fine. Give yourself that for a couple rounds, and then see if you can fix those rib cages, and then see if you can just find that movement through the leg while keeping the leg as straight as possible, sending it down further in towards the ground and then up towards the ceiling, down towards the ground and then up towards the ceiling, so that it's really genuinely coming from that hip joint. One more here. Good. Okay, tuck that in, give your wrists a little break here, readjust yourself, and we will come to just do a little bit of movement with the shoulders here before we finish up. So this one you can do laying down, or I'll show you just a seated version here. And if you want to grab your block or your pillow or whatever you have that was comfortable to sit on, please do so. And what you're going to do is you're going to take your arms, bring them up above your head into flexion at a spot that feels good. You can point your thumbs behind you, or if you want to lay down on your belly, your thumbs would be pointed up towards the ceiling. Let your shoulders kind of drop and settle, and we're going to take the right arm, sort of push it back, extend it behind us, flip the thumb down, and then come towards the back if you can, as if you could touch your back, mid-back, and then extend through that elbow, bring the arm up, flip that thumb up, and then come all the way up to the top. So we're going to extend the left arm behind us, reaching behind us, and then when there's no more range, flip, so they're going thumbs down here, coming all the way across the back, and then bringing that arm to touch almost the mid-back, maybe your bra line, maybe it just touches the low back, that's okay. Extend out through that elbow, and then slowly start to raise the arm, flip the thumb, and then come all the way back up. So again, we'll do 2 more each side, flip, and then coming over and in, heading out, and then coming all the way up with the arm. Send the thumb and the arm back, extending, opening, and then flip into thumbs down when you need, and then when you can't go any further, bend the elbow, touch the back, and then extend the elbow for a straight arm, coming all the way back. 1 more each side. Try to see if those ribs are splaying. If they are splaying in the front, then just sort of see if you can tuck them in a little bit more and allow the chin to just nestle and not be jet out through the front. The last time on the left side here, open up, flip to thumbs down, come all the way in, touch the back, extend through the elbow, open up, and then come all the way through. Slowly drop the arms, bring the arms out to your sides, and then just rotate down with the thumbs, and then rotate all the way up. We're just trying to find a little bit of rotation here in the arms. Opening up, palms to the ceiling, and then thumbs all the way down to the ground. One more time here, opening up, and then flipping, palms down to the ceiling. Fantastic. Let the arms go, give them a little shake. Take a moment to just let everything sort of settle. If you want to lay down, you can. See if you notice any differences. Anything is maybe feeling a little bit more open, a little bit more fluid, and just allow yourself an extra minute to just sort of soak that in. See how that feels in your body. If anything is sort of vibrant and buzzing. Take a couple breaths for yourself. And then when you're ready, get yourself up and resume the rest of your day. Thanks so much for joining me. Again, if you have any questions, shoot me a message, shoot me an email. I will be happy to answer them and get back to you. I hope you enjoyed.